Hey everybody, this is Suboshi with another audio commentary brought to you by WCReplays.com. And we have a little bit of a change in matchups here. This time I will be doing an Elf versus Orc commentary, and I will be playing Elf, and I'm playing under my Smurf carpool, so don't get confused and watch it from my opponent's point of view. I have this replay stopped at the 15-second mark if you'd like to go ahead and sync up. And I will be starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and begin. Alright, so the point of this commentary is to show you how to effectively beat Orc on Twisted Meadows, which in my opinion is a good elf map because if you start with Huntresses first, you can easily steal those very valuable items at the middle merchant shops, just simply by killing that Troll Priest, which most people do. And instead of going Beastmaster first, I'm going to be going the traditional Demon Hunter start. Lately I've been experimenting with Demon Hunter Brewmaster combination, and it seems to be pretty effective, though there are some weaknesses, some weak points in the game that I leave myself somewhat vulnerable to certain types of attacks, which I will be talking about later on, I hope. And instead of scouting with my Altar and Moonwell Wisps once they are completed, I've decided to scout quicker simply because I want to find out where he is on the map so I can quickly send my Demon Hunter over there to start harassing him, as well as getting my Wisp over to his green creep camps so that I can detonate on his wolves and Farseer hopefully once he starts trying to creep them. So I find out that he is on the opposite side of the map, which is not all that great for my harass, but at least if he's going to tower rush me at tier 2, it will take him longer to get over to my base. Oh, by the way, I am watching this replay with the Fog of War on from my perspective, if you'd like to watch the same way I am. So, as I said, I will be doing my Hunter start, and I'll probably get 3 to 4 Huntresses, and then I'll start changing over to Archers right around the time I hit tier 2. I should have 1 or 2 archers out by the time I hit that. And if you'll take a look at my Wisp at his Goblin Merchant, the one right outside of his base, you can see that's a very nice place to put your Wisp because it's not very... you can't see it very well from the... if a Grunt or a Farseer walks by. And you also get to see the Troll Priests to make sure that he isn't hitting it later on. So it's usually nice to keep one Wisp at each of those merchant shops so that you don't let the Orcs steal those potentially good items on your heroes. So here I'm a little late on detonating on his Farseer. I can only get 1 wolf that's left over after the other one has been killed by the green gnolls. And it was just a little bit late because I just wasn't paying attention. But you want to go a little earlier than that. But you don't want to go too early. You don't want to let his Farseer see your Wisp, because then he's just going to focus fire on it, and you won't be able to get a surprise detonation off. I'm also going up to 20 food on Wisps. I want to make sure that I have plenty of lumber when I hit tier 2, since I have to put down that Ancient of Lore and Ancient of Wind, as well as buying a Tavern Hero. Certainly Elf does need their wood, or else at tier 2 they're very vulnerable if they can't get those buildings down. And here he's doing a nice job of running his Farseer away. I've lost it on the map right now, and that's fine because as long as I can stay close to his grunts, he shouldn't be able to creep. But if I happen to come across his Farseer later on, I will start focus firing on that again and trying to burn its mana so that he can't secretly creep some green camps across the map. Here I see he's actually headed over to my base to harass, which is good for me because that one Farseer shouldn't be able to do very much to my Wisps, even if he did try and attack it, by simply microwing them in and out of my gold mine and healing on my Moonwells. So this harass has been going pretty well. He hasn't been able to creep anything other than those green gnolls, and I haven't lost any Wisps other than the one I used to detonate. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up a Boots of Speed and a Staff of Teleportation. The Boots of Speed so I can kill his Farseer and Shadow Hunter easier if he gets a Shadow Hunter second. And it's just really good for chasing down heroes for mana burn as well. So here he's, like I was saying, he is trying to secretly creep, but I was able to find his Farseer, and I'm going to stop that right away. And most likely he's creeping with his grunts somewhere else in a separate location on the map. seeing as how his Farseer is simply running around not creeping anything. So I imagine he is creeping the green knolls. What position would that be? At the 9 o'clock position? Actually, no, I guess it would be like 10 o'clock position. So anyways, he's trying to put down a Voodoo Lounge right now, and I want to make sure I can stop that, because if he gets that up, then he'll start getting some clarity potions and man on his Farseer, and then he'll start creeping again. So I didn't see any grunts around there, meaning that he is creeping somewhere on the map with his grunts, trying to slowly get a level 2 Farseer. So since his army is separated right now, I might as well take advantage of that and creep these easy troll priests like I was talking about. And I'm hoping for a Book of the Dead or Healing Wards, because I actually get Healing Wards. It's very nice, because I'll be able to heal my army very quickly while I can creep the map, almost the entire map really. So I'm hitting tier 2 now, and it looks like I only have one archer out. And I pick up my panda with haze for my first ability to aid in me creeping, as well as if I come across his army I can quickly focus fire a grunt and run away, since all of his units will be slowed from that haze. And here I'm using Healing Ward to creep because it's just... Oh, actually I get more Healing Wards, which is great. I should be able to creep this entire map then. As well as heal my army after battles without wasting much moon juice. So I give the Tome of Experience to my panda, and the reason for that is because I want Breath of Fire. I don't necessarily care about a level 3 Demon Hunter. What I want to do is get 3/3 heroes as soon as possible, because level 2 Breath of Fire as well as Haze really just destroys grunts unless he has a lot of healing scrolls. So at least that forces him to waste a lot of money on healing scrolls later on in the game. Right now it's very important not to try and pick a fight with the Orc, because he most likely has a Shadowhunter with Hex or a Tauren Chieftain with a Speed Scroll that will just focus fire on your archers and quickly decimate your army without any Dryads and Druid of the Talons to support you. So it's really just a creeping game at this point. He doesn't seem to be pushing on my base any. I put a Scout Wisp at the outside of my base real quick, because I assumed right about now he'd be coming over to tower me with wards and a Shadowhunter second. But he doesn't seem to be doing that. Oh, actually here he is coming right now. With my Scout Wisp I don't see any peons yet, but they could be lagging behind since they're so slow. So I'm not sure if he's going to tower me or not, so I'm not going to TP just yet. I'm going to see if he's just trying to creepjack me or if he's actually going to tower. And here he is going on the offensive, so I don't know if he's going to tower yet. I still don't see any peons with that Wisp. So I'm just going to go ahead and play it. I'll let him go ahead and attack some of my buildings and stall some time so that I can get my army over there and I don't have to waste a TP. However, if he had brought peons and I'd seen that he was going to tower me, I would have TP'd right away so that I could start picking off his grunts and not let those towers get up. So like I was saying, I have my first Dryad out now, and my army is certainly much more powerful now that I have 1 or 2 units that can slow and reduce the armor of my enemy's meat shield. So actually picking a fight right now is a relatively good idea, and he doesn't seem to have any raiders with ensnare or anything that could really damage my units too much right now, so I seem to be at an advantage. Also, if you take a real quick look at my army, I only have 3 Huntresses, and I'm not going any more, and the reason for that is because of that Shadowhunter. If he had gone a Tauren Chieftain, I probably would have gone 4 or 5 Huntresses, simply because they're a really good meat shield, and it stops that Tauren Chieftain from getting to the back line of my archers so that he can wave just my archers. And that's very important, because that shockwave really does a load of damage onto my units. Also, Huntresses really just don't do very good against wards, because when that Shadowhunter puts down wards, he does it at the front line, meaning that he can only hit Huntresses and real close units, so archers are a better counter to a Shadowhunter, because archers are obviously out of range of his wards, so they don't take nearly any as much damage as a Huntress would, which takes extra piercing damage from it. I assumed he would be creeping his natural expansion, trying to expand, which is basically what I'm doing right now. I put down a Tree of Life at the expansion I had crept earlier on, seeing as how I had the advantage. I'm going to try and increase my army by putting down that expo, and hopefully I'll be able to keep my advantage long enough that that tree will get up, and then I'll just be able to start mass producing ranged units. So normally, if I hadn't expanded right now, I'd probably be hitting his base. But since I have such nice healing wards, and I am going to try and expand, I might as well postpone that attack and wait for him to make the first move, or to simply come along on his army and or meet his army while we both are creeping, and then we can engage in a fight. But I don't want to be too aggressive right now, because if I were to engage in battle and lose it, he would simply come over and kill my tree, and I probably would lose the game, because it's a very vulnerable time for me right now while I'm trying to get that expansion up. So I'm not really sure where he's creeping. I haven't seen any wolf scouts around, and I really have no clue what he's doing. I assume he's just trying to creep as quickly as possible, though I'm not sure why. Because he's simply letting me do the same, and I can probably creep faster than him with my ranged army. And here I see a peon coming over. I assume he was creeping his natural expansion, but he hasn't. And I see that it's heading towards the 5 o'clock expansion position, meaning that he probably crept that, and he was trying to send that peon over there to start building a great hall. So I'm going to go ahead and walk over there and make sure that he hasn't gotten up any towers, or has a great hall building, and he doesn't, which is very good for me. So now that I see he isn't expanding, I'm going to go ahead and TP back to my base, and I'm trying to TP as close to his army as possible, but I don't seem to get too good at positioning. I get my haze off, but he's going to go ahead and TP, and he actually saves a 2 hit point grunt. I definitely should have used Breath of Fire there. Oh, well, I guess I can go back to my tangent on why this is more vulnerable than Beastmaster Panda, and the reason for that is because of the Tier 2 Tower Rush. Against this strategy, a Tier 2 Tower Rush is very effective because I can't do enough damage, and I can't tank enough damage against all those wards and grunts without summons of my own. So usually his towers will be able to get up, and that's really hard to hold off. But one of the things you can do in order to increase your chances of holding that off is to get a very early item shop, so that it's up and running by the time the Tower Rush comes, so that you can simply mass potions on your Panda and your Demon Hunter mana, as well as healing, of course. So we have a major battle going on right now. I have very good positioning. All my archers are very far away from his grunts, and he's focus firing almost entirely on my heroes. And he doesn't seem to be killing my healing wards, which is certain death for him. It's important to try and watch where his catapults are attacking. You can see there he was focus firing on my Dryad, so I moved those 2 back. And because he wasn't microwing too well at that point, his catapult chased my Dryads all the way through my army, meaning that I was able to easily kill that catapult. As far as groupings go, I have my Demon Hunter and Brewmaster on, and my Huntresses all on 1, and I actually have all my ranged on 2 for the most part. Once I start getting more than 1 grouping of just ranged, I move my Dryads into a separate group. But it's usually just an easy matter of hitting 2 tab B in order to abolish those wolves, which is pretty simple as far as microwing goes. Which is why I keep them on the same group and I don't move them to a separate group until I get too many. So here this game is really over, and he's just trying to tower in as the last desperate attempt, hoping I'll do some suicide run and lose all my units or something, but that's not going to happen because my army is too large. I don't really know what else to say. I don't really upgrade my units. It's kind of pointless. I guess if I have so many archers, I could go ahead and upgrade the attacks on the archers as well as the huntresses, excuse me. but there's really no need. It's more a matter of massing range and healing scrolls so that you can stop his mass AoE damage in case he gets a Tauren Chieftain. And it's also nice to have 1 or 2 healing scrolls against Chain Lightning, which can be very bothersome at high levels. So I don't really know what else to say. At the start of battles, just make sure that the first things you gotta do are Haze and Fire and Mana Burn with your heroes, and then go on to Abolishing Wolves, and then start watching, like moving your meat shield back and trying to see where his catapults are firing so that you can move the couple of units that he's trying to focus fire on back, forcing his catapults to come up through your army. And then you just focus fire on his catapults, and they're gone in a matter of seconds. So I'm not really sure what else to say. I'll read your guys' comments, and if you guys have tips or something that you'd like to see next time, just go ahead and leave them on there, and I'll try and do my best to read it and answer questions. And maybe next audio I'll just do micro or something, and I'll try and not talk at all about the game and just about micro. Maybe that'll help some people. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll be looking forward to reading your comments.